Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to this edition of the Pest Geek podcast. I am Frank Hernandez, your Pest Geek. Hey, we're discussing all things pests, and we've got an exciting interview today, but I wanted to run some things by you before we got into the podcast. We got some exciting new stuff for you guys. The Pest Pro Local that we're launching, we have a group, Pest Pro Local Florida, plus Pest Pro Local Texas, and Pest Pro Local California. This is a group for you to join if you're in one of those states, and we're going to be publishing this, trying to make this available for people to go on there who are needing help, be able to ask questions. You can help them and then maybe get a lead from it. So that's one of the things that we're doing. Also, to complement that, in our YouTube and podcast, we're going to be doing a Pest Pro Local segment. So if you are a Pest Pro, anywhere in the world, and you would like to be on the podcast, that you're going to be either doing pest control, we're going to be doing a recording on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. So we're opening up our normal interviews that we do for companies and people that are wanting to experts on some deal, but we're getting so much response from it that we need to open up another day of the week because we're pretty much booked almost till June right now on the podcast for interviews. So if you are a pest professional and you want to be on the show, if you've got an expertise that you want to talk about a specific pest problem in your area that is exclusive usually to your area, I want to talk to you. We want to promote you. We want to talk about it. We want to give you a video on our YouTube channel where we can promote you. You can get local business. We're working that angle right now. So just go ahead and go to pestgeekpodcast.com. Check the next available date, but we're going to open it up for Wednesdays. If you are a wildlife professional, contact Steven Van Tassel so he can do an interview for you because he's more versed on wildlife than I am. So if you're needing and you're wanting to promote yourself and be out there and talk about real issues, how you can help people, and you want to help people, go ahead and contact us. And we'll go ahead and get you on. Also, the Pest Geek Academy is still going. We're still recording. I think we're up to 9 classes right now that I've recorded. I usually have to do about 3 recordings on that because I make so many mistakes. But anyway, that's coming. If you want to help the podcast and you want to donate and you want to become a supporter of the podcast, patreon.com/pestgeekpodcast, or simply go to pestgeekpodcast.com. And there you can hit the donate button and go ahead and contribute. Hey, look, if it's $4 a month, if it's $1 a month, whatever you feel this podcast is worth, it would greatly help us. Also, if you've been thinking about, getting a 1-800 number or getting a 1-800-GOT-BUGS number or easy to remember like an 800-600-500, do me a favor. Give our friends at Ring Boost a call. They're the nation's largest provider of local and toll-free phone numbers. And we would definitely appreciate the support because we definitely do get a commission if you do buy. Right now, they're offering 15% off every service that they offer. So if you will go on there and put the promo code PEST15, go to ringboost.com/pest, hit the promo code PEST15, you're going to get 15% at checkout. And now, on to our special guest. All right. So cool. I got Sean Licalzi of Obex Pest Defense in Denver, Colorado, and we're going to be talking about door-to-door sales and everything that's involved with that. So, hey, welcome to the podcast, guys.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, man. So talk to me about your posse that you got with you here. What's going on with these guys?
Yes, I went up to college to do some recruiting before this whole COVID thing happened, and I had about 11 guys that I had recruited out. I had about 11 guys that I recruited out, and then some of them kind of backed out because of the COVID whole thing. Understandable. But my last day over at the college, I ran into Sam, and he actually sold for another company. So when he came across my booth, he kind of already knew what the Pest game was all about and everything. So yeah, I had him come out, and then I said, do the whole COVID thing. I own another company, and like 95% of my money like just disappeared like pretty much overnight. So like pretty much all my funding for my company, it literally disappeared. It was devastating. So I was looking at other options, and I reached out to Sam. I was like, hey, I got like the last of my money salvaged up, man. Like, do you want to come out to Denver? I worked out a deal with one of my hotel accounts to give us 2 free rooms in exchange for shuttle service. So I was like, man, it's not that lavish apartment that I talked to you about and all that, but if you're willing to come out and help me get this thing going,
right,
I'll make sure you're taken care of. So he ended up taking a shot on me and coming out, and he ended up bringing his buddy out here, Max. They've known each other for a long time. He ended up coming out. He was going to be our start tech. But then, I was like, that pretty face can't go to waste. So we stuck him on the doors, and he's killing it on the doors, man. So yeah, that's kind of it. I've been in pest control for about 11 years since I was 18. It's always kind of just been a dream and passion of mine to start my own company. And I've worked for all of them, Edge, Terminex, the mom and pop shops. I worked for all of them, and I just really fell in love with like the door-to-door model. You know what I mean? I like, as David Roy said, it's like the sexy pest control. You're like, you show up and you're just kind of doing a lot of preventative treatment and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was always kind of a passion of mine. So my shuttle business kind of had like its most profitable year since I started it 5 years ago. And that's where the funding came. So I was able to buy a truck. I bought like a month's worth of product, got all my marketing, my website. I was able to get all that stuff done before the COVID crash happened.
Right.
So, I was kind of like at a crossroads, like, okay, well, I was at a point where I was going to have to go and like either work at like Lowe's or King Soopers or something. Cause like literally all my money was done. I just had a house built out in Colorado, and I have 3 kids, my wife I got to take care of. So I was like at a crossroads, like, what do I do? And, I had the truck, I had all the product, I had my insurance I had paid for a month up front. So again, I was like, all right, well, this crossroads, do I go this way or go this way? And I took a chance, and Sam took a chance, and, we went that way, and I'm glad we did, because we're rocking it out. We've been open for about 3 weeks, and just between the 3 of us, we put on a little over 100 accounts, which isn't a big deal, compared to the other guys. But, for the month of May, it's kind of considered the ramp up month. And, I haven't knocked doors in a couple of years because I had my other company, and he hasn't knocked in a year, and this is his first time. So, we're rocking it out. And I'm glad I chose to go that way, with this team here, because then it's really happening for us.
So you had another business, which is the shuttle business, and you're starting up literally right before this COVID thing. So that's just so I get that clear. You were in pest control before, but you decided we're going to start up, and this COVID thing hits.
Yeah.
And you got these guys coming out to join you. And how the heck are you doing door knocking and talking to people when nobody wants you near them?
So that was the risk. That's why, I didn't know if I should go left or right on this crossroads. So I was like, how are people going to react to us knocking on their door and trying to sell them pest control? How are people going to react? So it's like that was part of the risk. Was I told Sam when I talked to him for like an hour, I was like, hey, I'm just going to let you know, man, like the money that I had before wasn't there. So we don't have a ton of money backing us like we did. And this thing could very well flop. We could come out here and totally fall on our face, man. That was a big possibility. But I was talking with a lot of the industry leaders, some folks over at Aptive. I have a couple buddies with Edge, some of the bigger door-to-door companies, I talked to my connections, and some of them were saying, like the owner of Armor, I was talking to him, and he was like, I'm not even sending my team out until, way after May, and probably middle of June, I'm not even sending a team out. And I was like, that's smart, because when this COVID thing first happened, man, it was so huge, man. People were scared, now it's kind of rolling back a little bit or whatever. But when it first happened, it was big, so everybody was nobody knew what to do. So I was like, I waited a little bit, and I was like, let's just go out and let's go knock a couple. We did a couple test doors in some areas that, probably wouldn't buy pest control anyway, but we were just doing some test doors to see. And
Right.
we were met with amazing response. I mean, because
Interesting.
by this point, people have been on lockdown for like 2 months now at this point.
Yeah.
So it was actually, people were like happy to see us, like, because they've been stuck in their houses. So we were knocking on the door, and they were like, yes, whatever you're buying. Yes. Like, what? Like, yes, thank you. So people were buying pest control and then, and in like areas with like, lower income, is like areas that usually wouldn't buy door to door. They were, yes, boom, let's go. So we ended up putting on, it was like 25 houses our first day, just me and Sam before Max came out. And we're like, wow, all right, cool. And then we went to some other areas that I know pretty well in Colorado. And no, we've been met with amazing. What do you guys think? I mean, like I've only had maybe one or two people like really get mad because we don't have the masks on, because we go to a door with a mask on, people have the Ring doorbells. It's like, oh my God, what's this guy knocking on my door? So we're just kind of going up, and we're doing about 10 feet back. So we'll knock the door. We'll step about 10 feet back, not even 6, but 10. And hey, how's it going? And then we'll kind of close the gap as they're more comfortable. But yeah, we probably knocked over 1,000 doors in the last month between all three of us, and maybe one or two people actually. I wouldn't even say people got crazy, but one or two people like brought up the fact that we shouldn't be knocking doors right now.
So the general consensus wasn't you guys are crazy. It's no, we're just dying to talk to anybody right now. If anybody shows up.
For the most part,
for sure, yeah,
totally. I mean, I've had like usually when you're especially with pest control, when you're doing it, there's some conversation, but it's fairly a quick, easy process. Like, hey, we're taking care of the neighbors, blah blah blah. Go through your pitch, and it's like they either say yes or no, and it's like a relatively quick 2-minute sign up, and then the tech shows up and does the house depending on your situation, how many technicians you have and all that. But now it's like, people want to talk about their kids. They want to talk about their family. They want to talk about, their war stories from COVID, so I mean, it's been amazing, man. I've knocked doors for several years, and this has been the best year that I've had. I mean, not just because like this is my company and I'm like kind of seeing like the fruits of my labor, like going at it, but no, it's just the people in general. It's everybody's. I'm getting better response now than I did last, like a couple years ago when I knocked, and it's been really good. No,
amazing. So are one of those your techs and one is your sales guy, or everybody's doing sales right now?
So these are sales. Our technician over there, TB. Yeah. Can you see him? How's it going? That's our star tech. We just brought him down from Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So yeah, the three of us are selling, and then we also have another tech, Vince. This guy, man, he's not here right now, but he's a warrior. He drives down from Greeley he drives an hour every day to come down here. He takes a chance on us. There's days that we flop where we only sold like 2, but I pay him per house, and he's a warrior, man. He drives an hour here and an hour back home.
Wow.
He's like, no, man, you guys are. I love the energy you guys are bringing. Like, I believe that you guys are going to make this thing happen. So yeah, the customers love him. He's never done pest control. But he just turned 53 yesterday. Yeah. A nice guy, man. He's sticking around with us youngsters, and he's a warrior, man. I like.
No, that's awesome.
All the customers like him. I wish he could be here, but he lives in Greeley, so I can't have him drive. He'd have to wake up like 7 in the morning and like it wasn't worth having him come all the way out here, but. If he shows up during this, we can introduce him. But yeah, that guy's awesome.
No, that's amazing. So I want to get into, because you've been in groups, you've heard, and you've been around in the business long enough where there's a huge stigma with door-to-door sales, just major in the industry, just uproar on everything from, you name it. The guys don't know what they're talking about to, they're taking all of my business. I've been in sales for 30 years. I still remember hearing the stories about the Fuller Brush Man when everything was sold door to door. It's just that we're in a new age where people don't want, I guess everything is online. I focus most of my energy online. I went completely nuts. But when I started my pest control company, I did door to door. That's how I got my first clients. And then after that, you're busy and you can't go do door to door and you got to hire a tech. And I just said, heck, it's hard. I mean, I don't want to knock door to door. It's darn hard. I'd rather just do something that I know. I go with technology, go with Facebook, go with this, and I'm lazy. I sit here all day taking calls and selling on the phone because I'm lazy. I mean, I am. I want to make money the easiest way. I don't want to kill myself. But I have tried to develop already a door-to-door program, and I tried hiring a guy last year, except here in South Florida, dude, nobody wants to do door-to-door. Getting people interested in door-to-door. I was offering 50% commission.
Yeah.
On the first year. I said, I'll take the entire initial, and you get that.
Yeah.
And I still couldn't get people. I said, 50 to 80 grand a year you'll be making. Couldn't get people interested. I mean, it's darn hard. So I do have respect for what you're doing. I don't ever think that a process or a system is bad. It's only as bad as the person who's doing it. So if you're lying to the customer, and you're a douchebag no matter what. I mean, you're gonna lie in your advertising. You're gonna lie in your marketing. You're gonna lie. It's never the media. But the billboards work. Yeah, billboards still work. If it's not selling, your advertising sucks. I mean, it's that simple. So let's dive into the whole process of, if anybody is looking at starting, like, I want to do door to door. I mean, what's the day like? I mean, how does your day start, and how many doors you guys knock on a daily basis, and how does that start for you guys?
Yeah, so we, we're just kind of ramping up in May, but generally our day starts at 9:00. I come by the hotel. We start doing we'll do like a training for the day, whether it be, hey, what kind of objections were you getting yesterday, and how can we overcome objections? There's only 3 of us, so it's not like a huge thing, but we talk about, hey, who sold the most yesterday? And, we kind of give props to that. And just kind of do like a ramp up, from 9 to 10. It's kind of about training and pumping yourselves up, drinking our energy drinks and just getting ready for the day mentally, because and then we go and probably knock about 150, 200 doors each. And that's a lot, talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people tell us no. I mean, obviously rejection is huge in this. You're not gonna sell every single door, obviously. So, I mean, getting prepared to have people slam the door on you, be rude to you, call you names, get a real job, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, even for people that have been doing this a long time, it's not easy getting told no all the time. Like, humans don't like rejection. That's just how it is. And I tell any salesperson that, from another team to this team, I'm like, hey, don't take the rejection personally. We're coming up on their space, invading their home. Not everyone's going to be happy to have someone knock on their door. That's all there is to it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah,
as a first-year rep.
That's what I'm sorry to, and I'll let you finish your thought, but that's been one of the major things that people, in the industry, most people that start up a pest control company start out as a tech, and they basically get fed up with the industry and they go start up their company, and they're not salespeople. They were techs their whole life. Yeah. And the whole issue of that getting rejected constantly, I mean, I got a pretty thick skin. You can tell me no 100 times a day. I only care about the one yes. I don't care about the 99 no's. So the mental preparedness that you have to go through to just understand that it's going to be 99% no, but you really just keep knocking for that yes until you get that yes. That's just basically.
Yeah, even the best sales reps, I mean, they're looking at like 97% no's. Even the greatest sales rep, the guys that sell 1,000 accounts a year, still are met with 97% no. So you have to tell your first year reps, like, hey, you're doing fine. Like, so I like all the other companies, they post all their sales numbers a lot of the time, and I screenshot those and I show these to my team, like, hey, per rep, I mean, we're doing what all the bigger companies are doing as far as numbers go. Like, it's fine. I just had a rep knock on my door because I have a house up north, and he knocked on my door, and I was kind of talking to him, and I was like, hey, how many doors you knocked? And he showed me his pins or whatever. He knocked like 400, 500 doors, and I was like, how many you sold? He's like, one. He's like, so 500 doors, and he knocked 500 doors, you sold one account. That's generally about average. I mean, it's a little less than average for the first year rep, but generally for the most part, that's about what it's like.
It's about real.
What's been like for you?
Yeah.
So I last year I was doing tech work for another company. Yeah. So I was doing tech work for another company as a summer job. And then, after the summer ended, I went back home to the Springs and worked there for the summer or for the winter. And then Sam hits me up like in the middle of this COVID thing. I just lost my job to COVID. And so he hits me up with a door-to-door job. And so I had an idea of what it was like. And so I was really interested, and I came up here, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to sell a whole lot because of COVID, because of my lack of experience. But the training has been really good. Sean's really been helping coach me up to get where I need to go. And like you said, it's really just about the numbers. It's a numbers game. The more doors you knock, the higher the chance that the next one is going to be.
Yeah, I tell everyone a broken clock is right twice a day. You know what I mean? So you knock enough doors, you're going to get at least one pity sale. You're going to get at least one golden customer if you knock enough doors every day. I mean, if you're not coming home with at least one sale a day, you're either not training enough or you're not knocking enough doors. You know what I mean? I mean, that's all there is to it.
That's the brutal reality of it. Yeah.
I mean, they call it bageling or donut, whatever. I mean, that's going to happen from time to time, but it simply comes down to you're not knocking enough doors. You're not putting enough time in. Maybe you spent an extra 30 minutes on lunch that you could have knocked another 10 doors. I mean, the reality of it, and I tell everyone this, between first year reps and experienced guys, I mean, it is a numbers game. You've got to put the work in. I mean, this is 6-figure income, no doubt, but you have to put the work in. Like, there's all there is to it. You can make 6 figures in 4 months, but you have to put the hours in. You got to put the miles in. You got to put the knocks in. That's all there is to it. There's no easy way around it. The guys that want to go and start trying to get leads online, that's all fine, but nothing's ever going to beat out going door to door and direct sales. Yeah. They're nothing, click funnels and sales funnels and all that. That's all grand. And, that definitely works.
But still a minute percentage. Cause I mean, we're running Facebook ads and it's one click on 12, 13, 1400. And you need about 20 clicks before you get to one. Yeah. So you've got to go to 12,000 to get one sale. It's just, I'm lazy. I don't mind paying 27 cents a click, to get to $20 to get the $20 to get one lead and sell it. And it's a numbers game too. And I understand what those numbers are. So I don't get disappointed when I say I run an ad and, hey, it took us $20 to get a lead. Wow. $20 is nothing compared to a Google click at $26 a click.
You get a $400 job off that. Yeah. $20 leads. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So that's the game, as long as you understand it. But I mean, from your perspective as an owner and a manager, what people don't understand, and let's get into a little bit of that dynamic, is that I've been a sales manager. As a sales manager is what you really are. You're running a company. You're managing the tech. You're focused a lot of your attention on training every single day these sales guys and motivating them every single day. That's the majority of your job. You can't just hire people and say, go out and sell, and just, if you're worth your weight in your salt, you're going to make the sale, and hire seasoned salespeople. Because seasoned salespeople in this industry are used to leads coming into them and saying, I've got 10 appointments today that you've set for me through marketing, where I pay an average of 10% of the sale for marketing, and then pay you a 25% commission. It's totally different mentality than traditional sales. You've got to stay coaching all the time.
Yeah, keeping everyone's, especially because a lot of your sales rep are college kids, like younger college kids, 18, 19, 20 years old, like they're still developing mentally. You know what I mean? So it's like keeping up with them and, just reassuring them that, hey, no, you are doing good. And at the same time, having those conversations of, hey, you haven't made a sale in like 7 days. We need to figure this out. You know what I mean? But it's a fine balance you have to do. Cause I've heard of like horror stories with other companies that like, they don't make a sale for a couple of days and they're threatened to be fired or sent back home. And like these, like, it's crazy,
Right.
It's like, you can't do that. That's not going to get results that you want. You gotta have a fine balance of, boosting them up, but coaching and, that's a big piece of it is like, controlling the other guys' like mentalities, like letting them know, hey, you're doing a great job. Let's keep it rocking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is all mental. I mean, you go, like I said, anybody can go knock the doors. It's all about mentality, getting told no 100 times. And then being told yes, it's like it's ups and Sam Taggart, he's like the D2D expert. The Sam Taggart, he's like the door guy.
Yeah,
he says it best. He's like, door guys it's all ups and downs. We're up and then we're down. We're up and then we're down. We're up and down. It's like a emotional roller coaster every single day, and that will take its toll on anybody. Especially I said college kids that. They're still young, they haven't really experienced a whole lot, so it's like keeping up with that and their mentality, keeping their mentality strong. That's a huge piece of it.
Yeah. Because I worked a lot with young people. I still have, I would rather hire a young person to do this job than somebody who's older because there's just too many biases that they've already built up in their mind about, especially in selling, where there's no biases there. They're doing this, chances are, for the first time. And anything that these young kids can learn through this process, this is going to elevate them through their entire life because
it's huge. It's huge. Yeah.
I mean, anything that they do from that point on is gravy in their life because having that sales experience, when I started in sales, I think I was 16 and I started knocking on doors. I was selling printing door to door to commercial businesses. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's what I started doing. So that stuff prepares you to deal with reality of what the real world is like. It's not easy. You're not just going to get out of college and somebody's going to pay you 50, 100 grand because you got a degree. I just think it's a huge opportunity to invest in kids because they have that energy. You got to use that energy source, and knocking on doors is you waste a lot of energy. What's been your thoughts? And I'm sorry, who's your other sales guy over here on this corner? I didn't get his name.
I'm Sam.
Sam, yeah.
Sam. All right. So Sam, so tell me about you, Sam. What's going on with you?
Yeah, so I started last summer selling. I sold for Evergreen up here in Denver.
Okay.
I learned with a really good guy. I don't know if you know Nick Allred. He's one of the best door-to-door guys I've met. And I mean, door-to-door is one of the hardest jobs I think I'll ever have. I love sales. I love doing sales. But door-to-door is the hardest sale, definitely.
Right.
Just because you have to go to the door. People hate that you're coming to the door. People don't know why you're at the door. People are always busy. They always have something to do. You think about your own life. Someone came and knocked on your door right now. You're like, I'm busy. You know what I mean?
I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to be able to break people's walls down and get them to listen to you, which is the hardest part. It's not just a number. It's about breaking people's walls down to get them to listen to you, because most of the time they're not even listening to you.
Within seconds, too. You only have... You got 2 or 3 seconds to do all that,
Right.
And then once you get to the rejection part, I mean, it's a mental game. Like when you start bageling a lot, it's not because you're not knocking enough. Maybe it's just because your mentality is just wrong completely. You're sad, you're depressed, you know what I mean? You're blaming yourself. You think you're terrible. And it's that how to keep yourself like in that mentality. You know what I mean? And as a 20-year-old, that's really helpful to me, because that's going to really teach me a lot in life, just not just door to door, is how to keep in a good mentality, always thinking positive thoughts, which can be really hard on the door sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at, and one of the things that I have to deal with constantly and in ministry and dealing with kids and online is that I see such a majority of teens in this country totally depressed, and yet they have everything. I mean, they come from good families. They've had all the toys. They've had the Xboxes. They've got their college taken care of, and they're living life depressed all the time. And it's something for me that I can't understand because I never had a great upbringing. I had a terrible one. My parents were great. My dad was great, but my dad died when I was 5. And I had to learn to do, I was working by the time I was 10. Okay. I was already stocking shelves and changing tires. I don't know what it's like to be depressed, have downtime, to say I don't have, I have time on my hands to do things. I'm always busy. I'll get off this podcast with you. I'll deal with calls, and I'll be working till 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'll put in 70 to 100 hours a week. And I think that something like this type of career takes a lot of kids who have the potential, but they don't know how to deal with all these frustrations. I mean, there's no major psychology, I guess, than to go through something like this and come out the other end and say, gee, I made a sale. I actually did this. And boost up your self-esteem, because the world is dumping on you 24/7. I mean, if everything is negative around me, I got to stay positive all day. And I'm 50 and I got to look at how do I stay positive all day? And yet I have 30 years of experience on you, and it's still tough. So, I mean, I think people need to see, and that's one of the reasons I talk about this and I bring this up and I put it out there, because there has to be other opportunities for kids to do things like this, especially those that are outgoing and are extroverted and wanna. If you're an extrovert like me, who's a dreamer and an entrepreneurial spirit since I was a kid, I didn't fit in school. I was bored to death. The academic world didn't mean a whole lot to me. That was tough for me because I didn't fit in with a lot of the kids around me.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I mean, it was really tough for me to be a teenager, and on top of that, be sick and all these things. So this is why I invest so much time in this, and I think it's just an awesome opportunity for you guys to do what it is you're doing, and just get ahead and learn how to get ahead in life from a very early age. I mean, I think it's amazing. I think I lost your connectivity.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. It's a fun job too. I mean, yeah. I mean, we know how to have fun here. We're not just all stuck up door-to-door salesmen. Not that exists, but like at the end of the day, we're still kicking back, relaxing at the end of the day, talking.
And the people you meet on the doors are crazy. I mean, I met people who talk to me about aliens. I have people that talk about war stories and you meet these crazy people. I had one guy told me I'm like screwing over my grandchildren right now in life, and you just meet these exotic people, and it's so much fun to learn about just different kinds of people.
Strangers all day long. You get to meet strangers, and if you're, so once you get those walls broken down, you really get to, people just like to kind of vent to the door-to-door sales guy. It's like someone they don't know that's not going to judge them, so they like to tell you.
And also they leave at the end of it. So
and then they leave. Yeah. So it's like. I think a lot of people, it's like a guilt-free event setting where they can tell you they're wild,
dump their purse out, and
just unload, and then it's like, all right, cool, I'm not gonna have to see this guy again. So it doesn't matter. They hear a lot of crazy stuff. You got hundreds of strangers a day. It's 100 different stories. It's a great thing. I love it. I love the process. I mean, this is like my passion. I love the process. I love doing pest control. Right. Going door to door. I mean, the rejection sucks for sure, especially now that, my cojones are on the line, if we fail, with other companies, like, okay, if I don't make the sale, fine. But now it's like, oh, damn, there's an insurance payment,
Right. No, I'm totally with you. I remember my startup days. It was brutal. It was scary. It really was, but I've been in sales, so I'm totally comfortable, and I know that I can sell, and I know I get into that zone. I'm just like a racehorse. So to me, it was totally comfortable. But you just mentioned something about loving the process. And I think that a lot of guys that are doing pest control and are looking for a career don't understand the issue of loving the process. And I think you just nailed it, because I'm all about operational procedures, process, protocol, and if you have a process and you follow the plan works, but you got to work the plan. And
Yeah.
every time I
So
look back, yeah.
No, you have like that training stuff that you're working on now, but you still have some of your stuff up. And I was looking for technician training. I was looking at the Pest Posse. I was looking at Univar had some stuff. I was just looking at building a technician training program, because that's one of the things that's horrible at any company you go to. I mean, the training is just not there. I mean, I've been at all of them, from Terminate, all of them. The training is just, not there, especially the customer service piece of it, like the bug training and all that. That's, that's one thing. That's a lot of on the job learning, but the customer service piece, and you have a training on your thing. It's like the Pest Control 101 or the Technician 101, or I forgot what the title was, but it's like 45 minutes long, and it is a beautiful masterpiece. I mean, from where to park your truck to how to talk to that is, I've been doing this 11 years. That Technician 101, whatever it's called there, is it's just laid out perfectly. And I have every one of my every one of them, I'm like the four of us right now, but I've made everyone watch it, and we take the test at the end of it. I mean, it's just great. If anyone's listening and you're looking for like some technician training stuff, I mean, check that out. It is. Yeah,
I'm still working on that.
The best.
Yeah, and I'm still not happy with it, because I think it's just from the production quality is garbage, but the content is good enough to help somebody.
The content's there, yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah, and so that's what I've been focusing so hard on, is getting the content out. And I probably got one or two more to record. We just hit a wall with the platform, because right now we can offer it free, but we've hit a wall with the sign-on and all that. It's become complicated. We're trying to figure that part out. The support from
I had an issue.
Yeah. So we're that's why I'm not charging for it or anything, because I want people to see it and get the feedback on it. But my goal is what I'm teaching in this course is what I did not learn for 6 years in, and I'm compacting and I'm trying to compact it into 10 to 12 weeks of training that you can do at least a half hour, 45 minutes a day. And in your first 2 weeks of being a pest control technician, you've got my 13 years of experience of things that I run into that are more practical to the actual work you're going to be doing, because a lot of the training that's online is from a compliance, agricultural mentality, not from a urban pest control. How does this tech become active for you to actually produce very quickly and do it right? And honor everybody. So I think that's where I've been focused. So I thank you for that feedback. I hope that I can continue to do that, because I've got big goals for that, but it's more of a long-term project for guys exactly like you.
I think if you were able to come up with the funding and like figure it out, and you were to make some actual like generic videos of like everything you have on that 101 piece is just spot on amazing. I mean, just from the customer service to where to park the truck, how to talk to people. I mean, the details on that is just crazy. I think if you were to come up with a video, just a generic video of a technician pulling up in a generic truck, I think that's killer, man. That content you have there is worth gold. I mean, if you can figure out someone to video, pretty much just like video your content, like have the truck pull up and have the camera show where the truck pulls up. And,
the actual step-by-step really being done.
Yeah, exactly. Have it videoized, so it's like visual.
That's brilliant.
Gold, man. Like I've looked. I mean, like Pest Posse is great. I mean, the Univar stuff is great, man. I'll be honest, man. I use that with the one video. I hadn't really gone through the history of it and all that, but that one video, the 101, man, it's solid gold. If you can figure out a way to get that videoized, like your content video or whatever the word is, man, you got yourself a killer piece there that I guarantee any company would love to incorporate into their training, because I do. From the salesman to the techs to my office staff, anybody, they watch that first. And it's like, you need to know this before you can do anything else. And I love it. That's actually how I found you, because I was looking at pest control training.
Oh, really? Okay. So the marketing is working. I'm glad that all those hours I spent, one person saw it. So But no, one of my goals is for that, because I am planning to build, a team of door-to-door salespeople, and I want them to go through the same training that I put a technician through, so that everybody's in sync. There's nothing worse of the complaints that we hear that the salespeople don't know anything about pest control. I don't think they need to know how to actually perform the actual service. I think they need to be knowledgeable. Salespeople are not technicians. They don't need to go and say, we're going to apply the bait here and there and this and that, because that's not the job of a salesperson. It helps. It helps to know the process. It helps,
like technicians. Yeah, people like technicians that go from tech to sales, they always sell a lot more their rookie year because.
I lost you. Oh, there you go. You came back.
Notification.
No problem.
The technicians that go from tech to sales always sell more their rookie year just because they can be a little bit more specific of, hey, I see you got some ants here. My guy's going to come out here and put the granular bait down. They're going to pick that up. It's really interesting to watch. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is important. I tell Sam that all the time. It's like, 'cause he doesn't really know anything about the products. He just knows how the service works. But I'm trying to teach him about the products because, man, if he can, you don't need to go into super detail about products, but you can it definitely helps knowing about what the products do. And
right.
Because sometimes they ask.
Yeah, sometimes they
have
ask,
really interesting, deep questions about the products. And I used to be a tech, and so I can answer those questions.
Like, how does the granular work? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? So being able to tell them, really helpful. Yeah, the ants pick up the bait and they take it back down to their colony, and hopefully we can eliminate the queen that way. All that, all that stuff there. Customers do like it, so it's like, is it detrimental? No, absolutely not. But it does help you out with sales for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah. Being able to explain basic pest control and how people will ask you about, I saw this roach and what is this roach? And, the technician, we get it all the time, the funny jokes, it's an American cockroach, and he tells them, it's a Turkestan roach, because he doesn't know the difference. I think, knowing the difference and just basically having an intelligent conversation with the client says, oh yeah, that's an American roach, or that's a ghost ant, or that's a crazy ant, or,
just respecting their intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. To be able to have just that you're knowledgeable, but not necessarily, that's not your major thing.
I know it all.
You're not supposed to be an entomologist. You're supposed to be a salesperson, and your job really is to bring in contracts. And it's for us. I'm always the kind of guy that since I've been in sales, I appreciate it, because I would sell stuff and then come back to the office and says, guys, I just sold this deal and I have no idea how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I've been there a few times. Do it constantly. I just sold this massive deal and I have no idea how we're going to pull it off. And here is manufacturing trying to say, dang, Frank, how are we going to do it? And I got everybody scrambling because there's enough money on the table to make it happen. But that's how I roll. I go out and I sell things, and it's like I brought the business in. That's my job.
You guys figure out how to make it work. Yeah.
It's your guys' job to make it work. If you tell me that we got ants and roaches and this and that, and it's a contract and you're going to do it in 2 services, that's up to the tech's job to figure it out. Now, obviously, I don't want to sell a bed bug job for $165 that is going to take 3 visits. The company's not going to make. My manager is going to override that. That's going to say, no, Frank, you're an idiot. I'm never going to approve it. That's a manager's job to do that, to say, you got to go back to that client and tell him you screwed up, and it's going to be $600 more that you misspoke, and that's on you. That hot one always fell on my lap. So there's a lot of things that technicians turn business people don't understand about sales, that they really need sales training, and sales training is constant. It was every day when I was a sales manager. When I was in sales, it was daily. Where you don't get that in pest control. You don't get daily training. You get training every couple of months, every couple of weeks, once a year, every 2 years. But sales training is most every day. What did you run into?
Daily,
Yeah, it's daily with us. And that's something that people aren't prepared to do unless you have the mentality of saying, I know I got to be there, and that motivation has to be there every single day. And I wanted to talk to you about how do you begin that if you were, let's say, starting up again, how do you begin that process of saying, I'm going to build a door-to-door sales force? How would you start that conversation to do that?
So I mean, that's like a lot of recruiters and stuff. They don't want to go out and start telling their secrets on how to develop a door-to-door team. It's kind of like trade secrets and stuff. You know, I mean, I think there's enough business to go around. It's not that big of a deal, but you definitely want to be recruiting at the colleges. You know, there's a thing called Handshake. It's pretty much these colleges are responsible for getting these kids jobs, especially during the summer and stuff like that. There's a thing called Handshake that you need to be a part of if you're going to be recruiting at colleges. Most all the colleges require this. So you got to get on there. They got to vet you, make sure you're a real company, make sure you're not, you know, jacking around or whatever. And then once you're there, I mean, you can go on there and you can see, okay, who's having a hiring event, and you can go set up your booth and all that kind of stuff. You know, and then like I said, you really have to sell this job to these kids. I mean, that's all there is to it. You don't just go and put a booth up. I mean, you were over at Western. I mean, how many booths were set up where it was somebody sitting on their phone with some mediocre booth with hardly any information about it, and they just looked like they were pissed off to be there. They didn't want to be there. Like, you think these kids are want to go work at your job when you don't even look like you want to be there? You know, like my booth set up, I had huge, colorful things set up. I had music playing. I was giving out energy drinks, candy bars, you know, like, hey, I had my numbers right up there on the board. You know, I mean, that's another thing, transparency with me. I was like, hey, you know, this is what you could make here. Are you going to be making $100,000 your first year? Probably not. Definitely not. But, you know, you could definitely make 30, 40 grand in the next few months, you know, and that entices people. But so you want to be honest. You don't want to go and start talking to all these kids about how, oh, you're gonna make $100 grand this summer. Come out with me and sell. You're gonna make 100,000. You're gonna be partying every night, and it's gonna be the greatest thing you've ever done. It's like that's a very unrealistic of what your first year of sales is like. Even your second, third year isn't like that for a lot of people. You know, so I mean that's kind of where it starts. So I mean you gotta be good with sales to begin with. You know, then you got to get on that handshake, go talk to your colleges, you know, call them up, say, hey, like that's what I did when I went up to recruit my team is I called the college and I would say, hey, I have a really cool opportunity, you know, for your students. Do you mind if I come in and set up a booth? And they're like, yeah, come on through. It's free, you know, set up. And they said, you know, you just need to pretty much you need to promise that, because there's other, you know, larger companies, I'm not going to say which ones, but there's companies that have been there and they were pretty much lying to the kids saying that these kids are going to make, you know, 80 grand. And then the kid's parent, then they were taking them to California and all this stuff. And then the kids' parents, moms, and their parents were calling the school saying, hey, what the hell? This company just took my kid. And he called me, said he has no money. He's broke and he's stuck in another state. Like, how did you let this happen? You know? So the college told me, they're like, we have no problem with you coming here. There's only a couple pest control companies that come here, but you need to promise you're not going to lie to these kids. If they're only going to make 15 grand, you need to tell them that. Don't come in here and tell them that they're going to live this lavish lifestyle. They're going to be driving around, you know, Lambos, and they're going to be partying and doing, you know what I mean? That's what the school told me.
Right.
Because like, you know, they said these bigger companies came in here and like the parents were getting mad because their kids are now stuck in another state and they're broke. And they're depressed because they haven't sold anything, you know? So it's like, you know, that's another big piece of it, you know? So, I mean, I am just starting out, but you know, if my advice to anyone else, like for you, if you're trying to build a team, you know, start at your colleges, restaurants, waiters, you know, people that are used to kind of working off of tips, people that are used to, hey, anyone that's like used to earning their money, like tips, commission people, those are great people to have. You know, colleges for sure. And then just be honest with people, you know, be honest and transparent, you know, and be forthcoming with how things are going to work. Like, hey, I'm going to take you to lunch. I'm going to talk to you about this. I'm going to buy you some pizza. if you're 21, hey, well, maybe we'll get a beer. We'll talk about how this is going to work. I'm going to have you sign this sales contract. We're going to read it together. If you have any questions, you can definitely hold off on signing. Just be transparent with people. There's so many companies out here that they're not. They come in and they tell these kids again that they're going to make $100,000. They're going to party every night. It's going to be the greatest thing that they've ever done. And that sets kids up for failure. That sets up that depression, because like they were told that they're going to be doing this. And then it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I must be doing something wrong because this lifestyle is possible. I must be doing something wrong. Like, what am I doing wrong? What about me is like failing? You know what I mean? So that's where you're talking about some of that depression comes in, so it's like, is it possible to make $100,000 in a few months? Absolutely. Is it realistic for most people? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's the bottom hard truth about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's only so many people in a company that are A, salespeople, and everybody else is a B, and the C's don't make it and they leave. It's just a reality of being in sales. So, and so you're looking mainly for people that have some type already of either sales inclination or some sales experience. And they're usually 18 to 20, so they've probably worked already. They're motivated to do something like this.
Or waiters or waitresses, it's people that are used to using customer service to make their money. You know what I mean? Because those people get it. Like the people that are making $20 an hour changing tires and stuff, they're used to making their $20 an hour. They come in, they do their job, they come in, they show up, they make their money, and they go home. You know what I mean? Those aren't the kind of people you're looking for. You're looking for the people like the waiters, the waitresses, the customer service people that their money relies on how hard they want to work. So you don't, I'm not saying people like that make hourly wages aren't good, but like I said, I haven't really seen where those people really thrive, because it's like, like they're used to making that, $20 an hour, and that they're used to that, and they don't want to take. I've had so many people, they would rather go and make $16 an hour guaranteed. Right. And that's what I'm going to make no matter what, as opposed to potentially making, most of these reps are making like 20, 30, $40 an hour. I mean, even the first year reps and stuff like that. So it's like, they'd rather go make $16 an hour than potentially make $40 an hour, but possibly, you know what I mean? They need that guarantee. A lot of people need that guarantee, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? There's plenty of jobs for those kind of people, but those aren't the people that you want to try to recruit. You want to recruit, like I said, the waitresses, the waiters, the customer, the people that work for tips, lawn care people, the ones that do like the lawn care guys that get commission on lawns. Those guys are hard working, and they're used to walking because they're walking the lawn. There's anybody can do sales. It's just kind of you got to find the person with the right mentality to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a toughening of that mind and getting used to it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you're used to making hourly, you get paid by the hour, you go home and you're done. If you're used to making tips and you got to do more to get those tips, then you do more. And that's just...
Because most tipping jobs, you're getting paid minimum wage or less.
Yeah.
Like your paycheck isn't anything. Like if you don't perform, you aren't really making any money other than, maybe $100 a week, It's like, those are the people that you want on your team, like those are the hardcore guys.
Sweet. No, I get it. So I know you, what's his name again? He's the door millionaire, right? D2D millionaire, the book?
No, that's a different guy, but Sam Taggart, he's the door-to-door. He's the guy that does door-to-door con.
Door-to-door con. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I think I'm in his group.
Yeah. D2D experts, door-to-door tribe. I think you're on door-to-door tribe, maybe.
I'm door-to-door tribe.
That's Sam Taggart. Yeah, that guy's a savage.
Okay, so if somebody's looking to say, I want to start a door-to-door, does he have a good course?
Yes, he has the door-to-door expert course. I'm honestly not familiar with it. I bought the recruiting course from him. I think it was like $200 or I forgot. Don't quote me on that. But I bought it for him, and he pretty much kind of tells you how to recruit people, like using when you're recruiting people, he pretty much just tells you how to do it. And it's a pretty cool course as far as like, just explain the details, like make sure you get their phone number, make sure you follow up with them. he kind of explains the reality of, maybe somebody might not want to sell for you for 2 years. You might get a lead on a recruit and you keep in touch with them. And then 2 years later, he said, okay, fine, I'll pull the trigger and come sell with you. He just kind of explains the reality of what it's like to recruit. That guy, he's the best at it. He's like his information's great. But then he also he has sales training, like he has door-to-door sales training for Pest, solar, pretty much anything door to door. He has courses for it. And then it's good stuff. I've only seen a couple like clips of his pest control stuff. Cause shout out to Dustin with that Knock Life. He is,
I've seen his videos. I've seen all his videos. Yeah. The Knock Life. Yeah. Really cool video.
That's who honestly kind of Adam Sellers with Armor Pest Defense. He kind of got me into door to door. I mean, I sold pest control as a tech door to door. I'd spray that house and I'd go knock the neighbors. And I was honestly selling like 4 or 5 a day just as a tech, just knocking the neighbor's house. But it was easy because my truck was right there. It was kind of easy. And then Adam Sellers he saw my numbers on their little program. He's like, whoa. You're wasting your time just being a tech. You need to come out and sell for me like right now. And I was like, I was one of those guys like, I got a kid, man. I need a guaranteed check. I can't risk failing. You know what I mean? So I was one of those guys. Like I couldn't risk failing. So I didn't do it. And then I ended up starting my transportation company, and that kind of blew up. And then I had some free time, so I hired my managers, and that was pretty much running itself. So then Adam hit me up again, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing these days?" Like nothing. And I was actually thinking about getting into door to door. So he brought me on to Armor, and I started knocking there. And I was selling like 2 or 3 a day, which was okay. And then I came across Dustin, the Knock Life, and I started selling 6, 7, 8 a day, like that. Like it was like if I came home with less than 7, it was like that was a failure for me. So it was like anything less than 7, I was pretty mad about because his content is just spot on. You can get the Volt, that knocklife.com. Go to the Volt. I think it's like $1,000 and it's like 100 videos. But it's like any type of objection that you are going to come across, he has a video how to get over it. He has videos on the pitch, the roadmap. I mean, it's amazing stuff. So, man, if you're listening and you want some more training, thatknocklife.com. Shout out Dustin, that guy. He really made a difference in my whole career. I mean, if I didn't come across his videos, I wouldn't be able to do this right now.
No, that's amazing because the just to put it in perspective, you say your experience and you're selling 6 to 7 a day. How many doors are you knocking on roughly on those days?
It was probably about 150, 200 doors, maybe more. Because I was knocking hardcore from. They said we had the same thing. We met up at the apartments. I used to drive like 45 minutes because I was the local guy, so I had a house in Parker. So I drove like an hour up to where they were at. I'd get there about 8 o'clock. We'd go from like 8 to 9, 9:30 on training, and then we hit the doors about 10. And I'd go from like 10 to 8, 10 to 9. As soon as I'd go until the sun went down. I even made a couple sales at dark. I don't like knocking after dark. A lot of companies like require you do that. I didn't like that because it's like I have a kid. I was coming from a different background than a lot of those younger kids. I was like, I would not like someone knocking on my door at dark. But I made a couple sales, like a couple go backs. I'd go and it'd be like 10 o'clock at night, and I'd be sitting at their kitchen table, and we'd be getting the pest control contract signed. But so I'd probably knock 150, 200 doors, possibly more that day. It was literally if I sold less than there was some days obviously I didn't sell 6 or 7 all the time, but if I went home with less than 6 or 7, that was a disappointment for me, because it was after watching his videos, it was just like the roadmap and how to I had a problem with like overcoming objections, like being told because you can be told no like 6, 7 times and still make a sale. Like I would get told that no. I was pretty much looking for golden customers, and a lot of the reps that would look for golden customers like, hey, I'm doing pest control for your neighbors. If I can get you on the route, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, unless they said, yeah, cool, how much is it? I pretty much like shut down. If they told me, no, I'm not interested, whatever, I shut down and walked away. But now after watching his stuff, it was like, it gave me some ammo to be like, okay, well, you have another company, and then just, give yourself an extra few seconds on the door. He was this game changer, man, that stuff. And I said, I haven't watched any of D2D Experts pest control videos. I've seen a couple clips of them and they look awesome, but that Knock Life is
The Knocklife, yeah.
Spot on.
He's got a lot of videos out. I've seen a lot of this stuff.
I
just watched another yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, no, pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about pest control, because you're in the pest control business, and you're in Denver, Colorado. And what are the main problems? I'm here in Florida. Obviously, it's different. You guys are more in a drier, hotter, arid area. What is one of your major pest problems that people call and complain about that you have to deal with all the time?
And this year it's moths.
Yeah,
this year it's moths. Moths are crazy. Ants
really?
And moths.
Okay.
Yeah, ants and moths.
You walk through, you kick a bush, and like 400 will fly out. Like, it's ridiculous.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty bad. I mean, just your
spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah, wasps. I mean, pretty much everything you see around the country. Colorado's not like super.
We kind of have a mix of a lot. I mean, in 08 it was bed bugs. We were like a huge epidemic. But that's when I got into pest controls in 08, when the bed bug thing was like popping off, and I was going out there fumigating and doing all that hardcore stuff. Kind of died down a little bit now, but yeah, no, I'd say get a ton of calls, and my rodents, ants, and moths right now. Because I'm on Home Advisor and I get leads sent to me all day, and I'd say 90% of it is those three things: rodents, moths, and ants.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's because Denver, because it's getting so many more people moving in for things like medical refugees and just more jobs in the area. Lots of houses are being built up around the edge here, and construction brings
stirring up a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you're disturbing their environment, and when you're doing new construction, so they're like, we got.
There's new construction everywhere. I mean, everywhere there's new construction.
Sweet. No, it's good. I mean, moths really threw me off. I'm like, wow, moths. Okay.
Yeah.
That one, getting
crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, man. So, man, is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't covered that you would just want people to know?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like the biggest thing for like is like the mentality when you're selling door to door is to keep a strong mentality, because right. I have to tell these guys all the time, being told no 100 times is normal. Getting 1 or 2 sales a day is completely normal. There's nothing below average about going home with 1 or 2 a day. You know what I mean? Because like it's easy, because me and Sam, like when we're on it, we're like 5, 6, 7 a day, and he's knocking out like 1 or 2. So he's seeing our numbers, and it's like, you're doing fine. Me and him are just killing it right now. We're gonna have our bad days, which right. He's had last couple of days. I had a week where I was just getting slammed, and then I kind of picked it up. So I mean, just keeping up with your rookie reps and letting them know, going home with 1 a day it's totally normal, and it's totally good. I mean, it's not good for your pocket wise. Obviously, you want to make money, but it's normal. Don't let that get you down. And I'll screenshot some of the other guys' numbers, like, Aptiv, Moxie, all these guys, they all like on Instagram, they like post a lot of like their top reps or posted pictures. Right. Like, look, this guy's their top rep for the whole day, and he only sold he sold 10, and he's been doing it forever. So I mean, the fact that you sold 1, right. It's not horrible. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a thing, it's like, unless you're selling 20 or 30 a day, you're failing. That's absolutely not the case at all.
Right. Yeah, no, one of the things that also, when I was in sales, is like, I'm looking at my month. I'm not looking at 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. I might not sell anything for 2 weeks. And I understand that it counts at the end of the month. By the end of the month, my quotas have to be there. My numbers have to be there, or I don't eat. I mean, I never, that was it. So as long as I'm meeting my numbers, my quotas, and say, this is what I have to make at the end of the month, 1 or 2 or 3 days, it could be fine. I could be in a bad neighborhood. And let me ask you this about preparing your mentality when you're going into a neighborhood. Because I stopped doing that. I stopped judging the sale. Like, this, we're in a bad neighborhood. This is not going to sell. And then you're selling like gangbusters because for some reason. Not judging the sale and things like that, or where you're going, and saying, well, we're just getting bad neighborhoods where we're knocking on. What's your thought on that?
So we were just talking about that, because we were overselling on like Colfax and
Stapleton area.
No, it was past it. I mean, Stapleton. It was past it. It was like it was like it wasn't like our high income area or anything like that. But yeah, we were just something. We sold more in that area than we did selling like the $1 million houses up, south of Oregon, stuff like that. We were selling more to like the smaller, the houses that were built in 1920 in Denver. Like we were selling to a ton of those houses, more in those areas that you think would not buy pest control. We were selling more in those areas.
Yeah.
Sam thrives in those areas. He loves being in like the older homes, the areas that you would think would not be selling.
Right.
He was at a door. One guy, he came to the door, though. He had a pistol in his waistband and was like, what are you doing here at my house? And he's like, what are you doing knocking doors? And, Sam was just like, roll through, like, hey, what's up, man? We're doing some pest control out here. And he got the sale, too. The guy started the pest control. He had a pistol in his right in his belt line there. It was like awesome, so we sell, you can't really judge the area, man. There's sales in every area. Every street has a couple sales on it. If you stay there long enough and knock and talk to enough people, there's sales everywhere. It doesn't matter the area. It doesn't. The area doesn't. It matters a little bit, but not enough to where you'd want to like leave an area unless you're getting a ton of like income objections. Where like, I would love to do this, but I don't have the money. And you brought your price down as low as possible, and they're still saying that's too much. Once you get 15, 20 of those on a street, then it might be time to look at switching areas. But for me anyway, everyone has their own thing. That's me. If I get like 10 or 15 of those objections, then I decide it's time to leave the area. But you can't really judge area too much.
Yeah. And what about software? What are you guys using to track your door-to-door knocks and your close ratios? And I think I lost you there.
So can you hear us now?
Yeah, it's breaking up a little bit, but I can still hear you. I think I can hear you now.
Okay. No. So we, I was going to kind of like everyone else, we're going to use pest routes and sales routes. Again, like when this whole COVID thing happened, I lost like all my money.
Right.
And sales routes and pest routes is like kind of more the expensive way to go. It's the best. So I found actually a company called Pocomos, Pocomos.
Okay.
That is, it's been awesome. I've looked at Fieldworks HQ. I've looked at Brio Stack. I've looked at all of them.
Right.
So it's, I was looking at the best software, what was going to work for us. And Pocomos has by far been awesome. It has the only thing that I don't like, and they're working on it, is they don't have like a sales app. So, everything is like internet. So you got to be on the internet constantly, which kind of drains your battery. But they have the sales side of things where you have your sales maps and all that. It's pretty much like sales routes and pest routes built into one, because you got your operating system on there. It's all the same thing instead of having to have two different things.
Sweet.
No, that's awesome. It comes with your custom contracts, like your 5-service agreement. It comes with, it's pretty much all set up for you from the start for like what we do as far as like door-to-door 5-service agreements and all that. You can set up one times. I love it. The owners of that place, these names like Lance and then my account manager, David, they're very responsive. I'm talking to them about, maybe spending a little bit of money with those guys and having them customize some stuff straight for us.
Right.
No, but it's awesome. I think it's pretty much, it's like pest routes and sales routes built into one.
That is sweet.
Sales routes,
chemical tracking and everything.
A lot. Everything, yeah.
Chemical tracking and everything. Oh, interesting.
Everything that you would need for what we do for the sales, the door-to-door sales. You can track all your leads. You can pin houses, create your customers, have them sign the contract right there. Your credit card processing, everything is all right there for you. And it's great. It's extremely easy to use, man. It took no training. I'm not extremely tech savvy, but it took no training. I was able to figure out how to put a customer in there, how to manage the customer profile. everything. And it's cheap as well. I mean, you get unlimited users, unlimited sales reps, unlimited technicians, unlimited office staff. And it's $100 for up to 300 customers. And then it goes up to like 149 up to like 1,000 customers. I don't know the whole pricing structure exactly,
Right.
but if you're just starting out, it's really good, especially money wise. I said with like sales routes and pest routes, I was going to be at it was like $30 a month per user per sales rep. So it's like there's 3 sales reps, that's $90 right there, and then the program itself is $199. So I mean, you're already looking at over $300 for what I'm doing, and so I'm saving like $200 a month using Pokémos. And it does the exact same thing. It's not as pretty, it does have there's some downfalls or whatever, but it works perfectly and it's easy to use. So I highly recommend anybody that if you're doing paper systems right now or using like Google Calendars, I would spend the $100 and get on Pokémos because it's automatic scheduling. Yeah, it's automatic scheduling. You can like set up to where once you're on the door and you're making a sale, you can do like, hey, have this technician, your preferred tech, and it automatically schedules it for the next forever. So you don't even have to go in there and worry about going through your job pool or any of that. It like auto schedules everything.
Right.
So I said, if you're like a one-man show and you don't have a ton of time to be in the office, it's great. I highly, highly recommend that. For bigger companies, I don't know how it would work with like bigger companies. I said it does have some of its little glitches and issues, but nothing that prevents us from doing our jobs. You know what I mean?
So you can easily run a 5 to 10 man route.
Well, Vantage Marketing, I'm sure you've seen them. They use Pokémos.
Oh, okay.
I guess they just have it branded to them. But yeah, they use both. So Vantage is huge. So I mean, they have thousands of reps. So yeah, no, Pokémos is definitely it's there. I mean, you can use that with any size team.
Sweet.
I'd highly recommend it for especially startups.
No,
excellent.
excellent.
Like even Fieldworks HQ, the Fieldworks is like even that's easy to use, but Pokémon is even easier than that, and it has the door-to-door feature on it. The sales contracts, contract management, customer management, scheduling, chemical tracking, route optimization, everything. It's literally just think about pest routes and sales routes built into one program.
Sweet. No, it sounds like it's. I should have looked into that one. I heard about it a couple of times when I was doing my research. I went with pest routes and with sales routes, and it is pricey. But I had been doing my research for a long time. I didn't find it. If not, I would have given them a shot because I did try all the ones you mentioned. I tried all of them, and for me, that was it. It was pricey. It is hard to use initially.
Well, that's the standard. That's the standard. Everybody pretty much uses that. I mean, Edge Pest Control, they built their own several years ago. I wish they would have kept they had a thing called PestMate. I wish they would have kept that on the market because that thing was awesome. It did your HR management,
wow,
your sales, that thing was cool. I don't know why I'm not sure why they took that off the market, because that thing was cool. Like I said, it's your HR management, your recruiting, your everything was right there, and it was a good price. It was laid out pretty. It was nice. But they don't have it on the market anymore. They just use it in-house exclusively.
Yeah. So tell me about this. Well, one last thing, and then I know you guys got stuff that you got to do.
Yeah, we got to get the door and start making some money.
Yeah. So, hey, what book do you recommend for somebody to read in sales? Like, which is the one that's like, dang, if I was going to do sales, which one would I read?
Greatest Salesman's a good one. 10X, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Yep. Fabulous. Man, there's so many. We read books all the time. No, those would probably be the two. Yeah, the 10X Rule and the Greatest Salesman. Those are by far the best.
Is that the Greatest Salesman, the one by Og Mandino, or another version?
Yeah.
Og Mandino. Okay, yeah, that's a great book. It's an easy read too. That's a great story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super short.
Yeah. Super. All right. Well, guys, man, hey, I really thank you for being on, taking the time. I know you guys are starting up and you got so much going, and I wish you guys all the success in the world, that you rock it. And thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, thanks for having us on. And yeah, keep up that training stuff, man. You're sitting on a gold mine. You just need
I am. I gotta do more of it.
Make it work for you, man. Because that's like, I've looked at all of it. Your stuff is right up there with the top. Univar, everything. Your stuff's right up there with the top people. If you can figure out a way to, if you can figure out a way to make it work with the video and all that, like you got yourself a really good programmer. Sweet.
No, we're going to rock it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the encouragement.
One more time, shout out to Dustin with that knock life, man. Without you, none of this would be possible for me. So I appreciate it.
Repeat his name again, because it got a little bit cut off. Well, who was that again?
Dustin with that knock life, man. If
the knock life, yes.
Your door-to-door sales, go check his stuff out. He's a great guy. I talk to him, almost weekly. He on Facebook, or I'll call him. That guy's cool. Adam Sellers with Armored Pest Defense. That guy, he really put me on with sales, and he taught me a ton. With Nick Allright, that guy's awesome, man. Yeah, those three people, man, really set us up for what we're doing. So I appreciate that. I don't forget about you guys.
Sweet. No, man, that is so awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much. I know you got a baby on the way too, so you got more work to do. You got to go make more money for more diapers. Yeah. So congratulations on that, and have fun, guys. Take care of yourselves.
Appreciate it, sir.
Have a good one, man.
Have a great one, buddy. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.